Chemistry and you are watching Chem Science.
In this video, we will not only see what are the different types of salts, but we will also see the various methods of preparing these salts, and then we will learn one of the method of preparing the salts, the titration method. Now, as we have already seen in our earlier video that depending on what types of salts we have, the salt preparation method will vary. So the two types of salts are the soluble salts and insoluble salts, which we had seen earlier in our video. So here we also have the two methods of preparing the soluble salts. One is adding insoluble base or metal in excess, and we also know that we have another method of preparing the soluble salt when we use the soluble bases, that is alkalis. Now we had seen in our earlier video that preparing an insoluble base, preparing a salt with the help of an insoluble base or metal, we use this in excess to react with the acid, and we had seen this earlier. Now we'll be seeing this titration method in this video in detail, and then in the next video we'll be learning the precipitation method. So let's start with the titration method of preparing the soluble salts, and we use this method when we use a base which is soluble, that is an alkali we use to react with the acid to prepare the salt. So this is the method where we use an alkali to prepare the salt with the acid. So the first step for the titration method is put a known volume of sodium hydroxide alkali or any other alkali which we are using to prepare the salt in the flask, a conical flask, using a pipette. Now we use pipette so that we are using, suppose, 25 centimeter cube of the volume of sodium hydroxide, then we are accurately adding the same volume every time. So we use pipette because pipette gives the accuracy. Now then next add 2 or 3 drops of indicator, say phenolphthalein. We can use another indicator also depending on the type of base or acid we use, but here we are using phenolphthalein indicator as an example. So suppose here is a conical flask with a 25 centimeter cube of an alkali. Then add few drops of indicator that will change the color. Now here, as we have added phenolphthalein indicator, it will show a pink color in the solution of an alkali. In the next step, then add the acid from the burette just a little at a time, and then keep on swirling the flask carefully to help the acid and alkali mix. So suppose here is a burette, we are adding dropwise acid to the conical flask as we can see here, and then keep on mixing it well. Then a point will come where a small drop of an acid or the volume of that acid will turn the indicator colorless suddenly. So the alkali has been used up and the solution is now neutral. This is what is indicated by change in the color. Our color changed from pink to colorless because we have used the indicator phenolphthalein. Now the color change may be different for a different indicator, but for phenolphthalein it's pink color in alkali and it will turn to colorless when the solution turns neutral. Exactly at a point where the solution turns colorless, add no more acid, because adding further acid will make the acid excess and then the solution will no more remain neutral. So the moment at which the solution turns colorless, exactly at that time no more acid should be added, the burette should be stopped. Now find out how much of acid was added to make the solution colorless here or to change the color, so that this scale, using the scale on the burette, we can see here are marks on the burette. We can note down the volume of the acid used. Now this volume will tell us that how much of acid is exactly needed to neutralize the given volume of alkali. Now as an example, we had said that the alkali we may take as 25 centimeter cube. So this volume here will give us that what exact volume of acid was required to neutralize the 25 centimeter cube of alkali, that is NaOH, what we had used in our example. The next step should be repeat the whole process without the indicator. The reason being is that we don't want an impurity like an indicator in our solution, because now the solution which we have got here in the conical flask is exactly the salt and water mixture. So if indicator is present, then that will be an impurity for us. So in the volume, in the conical flask, put the same volume of alkali which we had used earlier, for example 25 centimeter cube, and then from the burette which we have read earlier, exactly same amount of acid should be added in the flask to neutralize the exact alkali. Now suppose the volume read here is 23.5 centimeter cube, then using 25 centimeter cube of alkali in the conical flask, next time add exactly 23.5 centimeter cube of acid without the indicator, and so here the solution obtained in the conical flask will be exact salt and water only without any impurity. Then finally heat the solution from the flask to evaporate out the water. So we are transferring this solution in an evaporating dish and heating it till the water evaporates and we get a crystallization point. Now we have seen earlier in the video that what is a crystallization point. When we start seeing some crystals on the side of the flask, that is the crystallization point. And then allow the solution to cool. So after cooling, we'll be able to see more crystals in the flask, in the evaporating dish we have taken, and then we can see that more of white crystals of the salt will be left behind. Filter these crystals and then dry them in the filter paper so that we get pure crystals in the filter paper. We can take these crystals and tap a little between more filter paper so that we get pure and dry crystals of the salt.